Okay. Day 2 of Julius Caesar. Here we go. Just getting my image ready. Alright, we're going to continue with the same pencil. I'm using ochre. Oops. Ochre. Burnt ochre. Okay. Make sure it's focused on this right thing. Okay. So now we're going to continue with the crown of leaves. Okay. So right here, they're pretty big, and they're kind of like just almost like an eye shape, an almond shape. There's one coming from behind of this one. Okay. And they're kind of like cut in the middle. Don't have to be perfect. So this one's coming. Then as we get closer to the ear, it gets kind of smaller. And then this is hair. But here, it's also his hair. We'll figure that out as. Okay, on this other side of the leaves, the other side of the crown, this one's kind of like one in front of the other or something. And guess what? Nothing is perfect. So they're going to be bent, they're going to be folded. So if they're not perfect, it's totally fine. Here, like a bigger one. This one is like bent or something. This one's look more like wheat to me. Okay, that's it. That's it. Okay, we just do the hair on this side. I think that's it. I think we're done drawing. Now we can start focusing on colors. Oh wait, let me just figure out the hair. This part right here is missing some hair. I don't know what that is. It looks like trying to So just like he's got this darkness here, he has it on this other side, so I'm just gonna start adding that a little bit. And it's a bit separate from the jawline, just a little bit. This is pretty pronounced. Okay. I'm just looking to see if we have any details that I'm missing. I don't think so. Okay. Let's start. Well, let's start with a base. Like some skin color. I feel like none of my skin colors is dark enough. Too light. Too pink, but this might work for too light, but might work for highlights. And I like this brand. Goldenrod. So basically, like a lot of different ochres. Would work for this. Maybe this orange mineral. It would be wise to have a piece of paper to try out the colors. Okay. Oh, it's very orange, but it's gonna work for some highlights. I'm sorry, the shadows. Maybe this one. Rose Sauvignon. Yellow. We're gonna work for the crown, because the crown is yellow, or I guess it's supposed to be golden. I like that one better. Organize different colors, but okay. So we're just gonna start with a base. And when we do this, also, we're doing this lightly. I'm not pressing super hard on the paper. We're gonna layer and layer the colors. Sometimes you're gonna barely be able to see the color, but it's there. And it also creates kind of like a glue for more color to go on top of that. So we're just gonna start layering the color. Okay, pumpkin. Give me a second. Okay. Okay, very lightly. And so, for example, this area, I'm doing more layers, maybe you can call it, or darker little by little, because in the picture that area it's pretty dark. And I'm gonna start adding some of those shadows and see how pretty once those two colors blend together, you start seeing how it starts to, I guess you can call it, come alive in a way. Okay, so this is just kind of like a base. And keep in mind that once you start adding this layer of color, some of your details might get lost. So don't layer too dark, but two, just keep in mind that you might have to go back and add those details again. Once you draw, shading is all about layering. It's all about layering. Okay. And also, something to consider is the direction of your shading. Keep that in mind. This area is going to be a lot darker, so I know I can start maybe making it even darker here. We'll add the detail on the ear later, but all of this will be darker. And then once we have that base, I'm gonna go back to the eyes and start. I just want to have a base of color, kind of like when you're painting and you have your base color. Hold on, Pumpkin wants to come in after she's been out. It's already coming alive, I feel like. Excuse me. Pumpkin. Very lightly. This is one of the lightest areas on the portrait. But also this skin has a lot of yellow and orange, so I'm not gonna be too shy on that. So just kind of like a light base. This area, so this is actually where the light is hitting the portrait. Same with this side of his neck. So very lightly, just giving it a base. And then we can go back and add our layers and add the shadows and the details. Now, I don't know if you noticed what I did here. Sometimes when you're drawing, you might be, or coloring, sorry, shading, you might make line and then they overlap and then you can see a darker area around here. Well, then you can go back and try to blend it in. Basically, I made it darker here so you could see better, but so that's basically what I did, so you don't see where the two overlap. This is gonna be very dark, so I'm gonna start darkening this up, and just so I have a light base. This will be very, very dark, so I'm already starting to darken it. Okay. Let's start with the eyes. Okay. I grabbed the same color I started with. Actually, I probably should grab a darker one. This is called light umber. It's like a lighter brown. I need to sharpen this. That's the color. Okay. So this part of his eye is very dark. So you have the eye. But then there's a shadow inside the eye. Also, when you're doing the eye, we don't see the whole circle. The circle's covered by the eyelid, the upper eyelid, and the lower eyelid. And then that casts a shadow inside our eyes. So it's not going to be white. This right here. Also our eyelashes cast a shadow. So this, even though we think it's going to be white, it's not going to be white at all. It's hard to see the detail on the eyes. So I'm just gonna make my own. There's a glint, tiny hint of light about right here. So I'm gonna try to maintain that. And I'm making the pupil. basically. Maybe a darker brown. I don't want to use black, but maybe a very, very dark. This is called sepia. This is black. Dark umber. I'm gonna go back up at the shadow. Try not to cover that glint of light. So hard to really see. Go back to the lighter color and kind of fill in. And there's her eye. This part right here is very dark. So I'm going to start to darken this in layers. As this is really dark, and as the light starts hitting this part of the eyebrow, it starts getting lighter. I feel like I'm making a video. Seriously? I'm making a video.
You're gonna have the sound?
Yes.
But you're getting cars in the background.
Doesn't matter.
So, you're doing a video?
I am.
Or like time lapse or something?
No, a video. Excuse the elephant in the room, literally. Ryan sounds like an elephant when he blows his nose. So there's kind of like a wrinkle here. We're starting some. It's This wrinkle goes all the way back here. I'll go back to add more medium tones. This, I feel like it's, so now I am pressing hard to show that. Okay. Let's go back to the other eye. Now this one, I'm gonna use the same color, but it is a little bit lighter. My paper had a little, I don't know, maybe it was some of the color I'm using. And I just moved it out of the way. Again. Excuse me. Okay, start. Now this eye is getting hit by the light, so it's a little lighter. And I don't even see a light on it, but I don't like it when you don't see light in the eyes, so I'm gonna make up my own. So I'm gonna leave some little bit of light on the other side, just the dark is coming from the top, the eyelashes, and the lid. So I'm just go back to the darker color. Sorry. Oh, cool. And a lot of the time when doing humans, I guess you can say, instead of using black for those really harsh lines or shadows, I use dark brown. Oops. To kind of soften the Jesus. And I'll go back here and add some of that. Pumpkin. I'm gonna go fill this in with this brown, and then I'll go back and this part right here is very dark. And the eyeball is not at all white. Just kind of adding a little bit of I feel like he looks cross-eyed a little bit. Maybe fine. We'll see how I can fix it as we. I feel like this eye should have been looking more that way. Pumpkin, stop it. Okay. Layers on layers. On layers of color. Okay. The medium brown. I'm gonna start this is very dark because it's a shadow of the leaf on his forehead. Excuse me. just along the edge here. I'm adding a little bit of this brown. I need to add some darkness there. This is very dark. And of course the eyelid is dark too. I just haven't gotten to that yet. Now, how many layers am I doing? Many, many, many. I'm gonna go back and light layer all over the eye with medium brown, and there is kind of like a light very a line of makes the shadow. Blend this in. This is also dark. Pumpkin. And we had made some lines on his forehead, so I'm just making them a little bit darker now with this color. I'm not done. It's just the base. Then I'll go back to the medium brown and the dark brown. Just gonna Pumpkin, stop it. How long is this? What? Okay, I'm gonna